Hey, amazing people. You're wondering, like, what is Sharon dancing to? Well, come on in, beautiful, amazing people. Let me know that you are in the building, that you are here, that you can see us, and that we are live and we are in living color. Let me know if you're in the house, drop a one because tonight we are going to spill all of the beans. The chat tonight, if you can hear me, let me know that, please. I would certainly appreciate it. Welcome on in. If it's your very first time being here, let me straighten my glasses. Hi, I'm Sharon. We talk about personal and business, entrepreneurship. Those of you in the wellness space, my nurses, my colleagues, definitely we talk about it here, a little bit of travel, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. And so tonight, for those of you, some of my content creators, I know you all will be up in the building tonight. Yay. And I'm going to share some information with you all since, I've had some. Okay, yeah, we're working, we're looking good. So I see people who have checked in early. It's Marvella. She's in the building. Marvella, the teacup is empty right now. I'm going. Let me get my. I gotta grab some tea because we're gonna make sure the tea tastes good. We're not worrying about that other stuff. The tea's gonna be good tonight. We are spilling the tea. Yes, I'm making sure that we are spilling the tea. Well, we don't want to spill the tea. Oh no, maybe we did spill the tea. Maybe the bag opened up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know about having this tea. Oh my goodness. I have to wait until it's all settled. Welcome on in to all of those of you who have been thinking about streaming live or live streamers and what I've learned since I've been using them. And no, I am not an affiliate, at least not yet, you know, and I'm not hired by any of these companies, and I'm not here to say which is best or whichever, but what I've learned over the past couple of months and years. I know StreamYard has been around for a minute. That's the one that I'm really used to, but here I'm using Restream. So, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. Also, talk about those of you earlier today. Thank you for being on the live. We spoke a little bit about protecting your intellectual property. And, some of you guys, you have people who are creating your intros for you. You want to get clear on who owns that music. Even if somebody's telling me I paid for it, I own it, I usually am not one of those people who say, okay, it's all good. If I don't know the legalities about it, I leave it alone. So I'm not here to you know, give any other advice than what I do personally for myself. So, welcome on in, everybody. How was your day today? I know some of you have done your lives. Did you feel good about it? Anybody who did a live and felt good about it? Doesn't matter when you're seeing this, whether right here or those of you on the replay. Have you done a live lately and have you felt good about it? And for those who are here, you can go ahead and let me know, drop a two. Did you feel good about it? You know, or I'm not sure. And is there something you felt that you could do a little bit different? So, yeah, welcome on in. Let me know that you're here. Let me know, guys, where you're tuning in from while my tea is over here looking just so different. Excited about the live. I am excited too. I had a meeting right after 8 p.m. meeting, and when people are having these meetings and then they think they're in one Zoom, but then again they're in another Zoom, and it was just like and while we got on the Zoom, something else was happening. So for me, it was a little bit too much. And then I got a chance to catch up on some phone calls. spoke to one of my clients, and they say clients will can become friends, but friends rarely become clients. But so very proud of her. She got a very prestigious award, a nursing award. And I just had to call her and say, girl, I am so proud of you, just to see what God has done and how far he has taken her. I need a script. I talk too much. Oh, we'll talk a little bit about that. Yeah, so for me, listen, guys, welcome on into the live stream. I didn't really tag anybody. It's for those who will come. To me, it's fine. Yes, I'd like more eyes in here, more people in here, but I know it's the end of the day and some people are wrapping up, and that's why the replay is here. And I have no problems with that. I guess I got to get my hours up. That's one of the things about you when you get monetized, and there's certain things they're telling you you need to do, and to make sure that you are doing it within the month and get the $100 threshold and all of that good stuff. Listen, it is what it is. I need a script, Mario said. Yeah, so so one of the things we're going to talk about, the live streams. And for me, there are those of us who can just talk off the top of our heads, or those of us who may have a script and just make it look as comfortable as possible. And there are those of you, Marvella, you're doing the thing I would not have known you did not have a script. I would not have known had you not said it. So that's the thing when I'm doing a live like this, because different people are coming in, they're saying different things. So sometimes I'm off track, I sidebar, and I'm like, what did I say? And because I'm trying to make it interactive, I'll drink my tea and, I'll crack a joke or something. Because the idea for how I do my stuff, that's me, that's my personality, the way that I do things, that's how I do it. That's how I keep you guys interested for the hour. Some of you might get bored and say, okay, what is she talking about? It is what it is. I can't at all times worry about what they are thinking. As you could see, at one point I had a whole bunch of people in here, and then that's how this thing is. You'll see like only 3 people, then I saw 10, saw 12, whatever amount, and then we're back to whichever. So one of the things that so if one of the concerns, so if you're streaming, and I'm going to answer your questions, as a Q&A, let's do it. So we're talking about streaming mistakes revealed. You just revealed that you didn't have a script. I didn't know that, but right? And so one of the things you can do if you are looking to do your live stream, you definitely know you're going to do an introduction. Hey, everybody, it's Sharon. Welcome here. This is a place in the space where we talk about the personal and professional development. Definitely a space for entrepreneurs. Those of you, my nursing colleagues, right here in the space, I welcome you, and we're going to have an amazing time tonight. So what are we going to talk about? Streaming mistakes revealed, and I am going to drop some gems. So if you're here and you can hear me, you drop a 1, drop a 2. I'm just doing a script, so I'm just running over how I want to do it. It depends on how you want to interact with your audience. Sometimes you can just do it. Welcome everybody on in. What are you going to talk a little bit about? And you can break it down. Just give them an idea. There's the intro, the body of it, and then there's the end. If there are a couple of things you're going to talk about and they're bullet points, then you bullet points those. And then from under there, from each of them, you can talk. You have an idea of how long you may want to do this. You would say, okay, the minimum I'm going to do 8 minutes. I may not be able to do 8 minutes, but I could probably fit it in 12 to maybe 16 minutes. So you have an idea of what you want to talk about. So get it, the intro, the body, and the end. And of course, you want to get people involved. For me, always, sometimes you guys know my microphone, it has to click between the computer and the mic. So sometimes I'm here talking and you guys are like, I can't hear you, but you already have an idea of what you want to talk about. Now, many of you already know this stuff. We've written papers. We've done all of those things. We're educated individuals. But the thing is, right, you want to feel comfortable with the streaming. Sometimes too, though, if you're so at the point, it's this, then I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, people will sort of kind of get nervous, or you will give people the feel that you are nervous. My thing is this: when once people get to know your style, your way of speaking, then they're going to be, they'll follow you. And you can always ask them a question. Like I'll say, drop a two. Depends on how interactive you want it to be, or you just want to just present it. So if I'm going to do something and then the body, after I've done my intro, I can, if there are three things I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to spend maybe 3 minutes on each of them, 3 or 4 minutes, it'll at least give me an idea of that I'm going to stick with that. So if there are three things I'm going to talk about, I could say 3 streaming mistakes and how to avoid them, so you can maximize your engagement. You could say maximize your engagement, your likes, and just someone just staying, the longevity of what you're doing. So you can pick 3 things, and then on each of them you just talk a little bit about it, and then when you're ready you go to the next one, and then you go to the third one, and then you can just wrap it up if you remember all 3. So let me know if any of that helped, Marvella. I know Marvella said, I know it, but I'm just not doing it. Did this help a little bit, Marvella? Just to maybe bullet points. And you can still use those little, what do you call them? Those cue cards, the little cards, index cards, and just put it somewhere. Hey, Els Endeavor, how are you? Marvella asked a question. She said that she needs a script because she thinks she talks too much. I talk a lot. And I like, for me, I want to be on a live where I feel the energy and the movement of it. And I think your tempo is good. If you feel that you just want to, I have sidebars all the time, So Marvella, let me know, did any of that make sense? Just choose 3 things you want to talk about, whether you want to let your audience know. Those are the 3 things in advance. You talk about them, the bullet points under, and you stick within it. If you want to do a little sidebar in between, like sometimes how I do it, I don't mind, because you do that too. You have a little humor to it, and I like that. So, well, let me tell you, the talking is the thing that God gave you. See, you're worrying about what you're doing. Did your audience tell you that? Did any of us come and say, oh, you talk too much? And did any of them say it didn't make sense? Unless they're a troll or something, right? So if you think you're talking too much, what is it? What is it that let me ask you? I think people like sidebars. Yes. Because the thing is, you want the person's attention. Sometimes I do it, and I can do it purposely. I'll tell you a story in the midst of it, and you're like, what? She's ADD. But then I'll change it. I'll come back to what I need to say. So sometimes it's just to break things up a little bit. Right? Yeah. So just be you, Marvella. Don't, if it ain't broke, y'all keep trying to fix stuff that's not broken. And we're going to talk about all those deleted videos. Why are we trying to fix what's not broken? Remember, there's an audience that you are serving. And for me, I know in order for me to really flourish on here, I have to bring my personality. Some may think that it's a little giddy, it's a little silly, but it's my personality. It's who I am. And that's what has put me in on stages. It has helped me in radio. I use my personality. I bring it. I don't, I could get very stoic and like I'm reading the news. I could do that, but I never liked that. That wasn't a thing. I remember once somebody asked me on one of their local shows if I wanted to read the news. And I was like, the news? I was like, that's just not me. Right. That's what Els is saying. It's like having a conversation. Els, I try to make tea and the whole tea bag broke in the cup. Yes, Marvella, be yourself. Be yourself, because nobody's going to think that we're all so perfect. Lucy, what up? My lives and videos. That's, be yourself 24/7. And how you see me, that's what you get. You meet me. A lot of times people, when they meet me in person, they said, oh my God, you look like your picture. Oh my God, you're the same way that you're on video, or whichever way. That's just how it is. The only other times when you see my personality change, because I'm also a critical care nurse. So, there's a whole change there. You're not going to see any of this, right? When there are things that I need to do. So we all know when the what, why, how, and when, right? We know when to use it. So yes, just to be yourself. That's it. Everybody else is taken. There's a quote that states, be yourself, because everybody else is taken. So yes, if you want to use a script, that's fine. Just get your little 3x4 card, or that little card, and drop it somewhere on your laptop, and the three things that you're going to talk about, and you keep it there, and then you just wrap it up, and you ask people to subscribe a few minutes into it. You just don't come and say subscribe, like, and share, right? You can tell people that. But if there's something like I'm speaking right now and we're a few minutes in, I can say we're 15 minutes in. If there's something I've said thus far and you feel like, hey, I'd like to come back or watch some of our videos, feel free to do that. Also, if you would like to, give us a thumbs up, that's perfectly fine. I certainly appreciate that. And anything else you'd like to do. And then you just delve back into what you are doing. So it's not so much about if you think you're talking too much, people are here for that. And you can always, if you want to get a feedback, sometimes during some of the lives, you can do, what is it called, that thing people are always doing, the surveys. So the surveys are pretty good. So let me know that, Marvella, have you ever tried to work with a script? Have you tried it? Yeah, because you say you need one. Have you tried it, and did it work out for you? Have you tried to work with a script? Okay, what's this one in name? Siri something. Siri Love Talk. Let me know. Just drop in the chat. Are you guys able to work with a script, or are you one of those who just like, I don't know, I'll just turn on my camera and wait until I am inspired by God. I've done that sometimes. Like right now, I just need to be inspired. So if I can get, if I can be inspired about something, then I can go ahead and do it. So let's talk about live stream secrets. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So some people can do that. So I want to know. Cancel. All right. Let's just do this real quick here. Okay. Let's save. I need to know how many of you have. How many of you have tried to use a script, and did it work for you? Or when do you decide? I'm trying to see this thing, guys. Something here is not working. Just give me a quick second. All right, let's see. I like to set this up ahead of time. All right. So we're going to fly over. I wanted to set that up ahead of time. Let's get back over here. Let's say we are. All right. That was my silly set. Okay. That was, I don't know. I just turned on my camera. I talked 3 hours this morning. That's excellent. I've done those 3 hours, and those hours that I got, that was fine. I've talked 3 hours. I've done that. Allison Mapp said, I just turn on my camera. Yeah. And then you just start talking, That was my silly side saying I need a script. I usually just flow. And that's the thing, Marvella. No, you don't need the script, because you're an orator. You can, listen. You don't do what you're doing, write how you write, without the flow is there. So just go with it. But yeah, sometimes too, I feel like I'll need a little something, and I do have little bullet points, and I just drop it on my laptop. Bullet points follow and the flow. Yes, it does. So there are times that I'll drop a few little things here because, I will sidebar. And so then I got to reel it back in, because I want people to get the gist of what I'm saying, but it is a conversation. So yeah, Marvella, if there are a few things you want to talk about, drop it there. You glance down on it and you just flow with it. Allison, hey, Allison had a nice I never tried a script, right? Allison had a really nice live today, and we were talking, and then it started to rain. And I heard the sound of rain, and I'm like, I was like, oh my God, record that and put it on a loop. We're going to talk about the loop. Put that on it. Because as soon as I hear the rain, it just like, I want to stop everything I'm doing. Somebody had on a rain. I think it was Chris one night, and I couldn't even get any work done. I'm like, oh, that's it. The rain does that. So, yeah. So that's one of the things too. Yeah. So if you need it, go ahead and do it. Now we're talking about the live stream and those who are comparing between Restream and StreamYard, and these are my opinions, and I'll share them with you. Yes, I've used StreamYard many times. StreamYard came through sometimes when the Zoom was acting up. It is good to have a backup. I would say it's great to have both accounts, the free accounts, and then if you feel like you want to upgrade, you can think about that, because some people were concerned about the price increase. So then you may want to compare with them. Right now, I'm the freebie, but later on, also the quality of the videos, you may want to compare which one is better. Sometimes they're saying it's StreamYard, but then there's so many other things that you can do with Restream, like the back end. You see the background. The same thing you can do with StreamYard. So they both pretty much can do the same thing. It's just later on when you go on the professional version, especially when you start uploading, then you want to know. It's almost like the high definition. They'll talk a little bit about it, the qualities of the video. Right now, we are not being cute. We're just trying to get our numbers in and continue doing what we're doing. But when we decide to upgrade the quality of the videos, definitely then you may really want to compare with both of them. There you can do the loop on the StreamYard. I don't want to talk out too loud before we were like, wait a minute. One of them, you may try it that you can flip it like 10 times, but I'm like, wait a minute, where the free version? Where the free version at? So you may want to find that out. Restream, I'm able to put in the clips and put them on that loop and do the ASMR. I can do that. Or if I have something to say that somebody will come in and after they watch a minute and a half of it or whatever, they're good to go. And some people may stay there. Yes, that was a thing why other people started to look elsewhere because of the increase in their pricing. So that's something to consider. And that's why I kind of came over. I'm like, what? I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, I'm like, what happened here? What had happened was the prices, they did increase the pricing on it. So that was one of the big things that put people back on it. So my thing is that if you are going to do your loops, some people don't like it. Like I said, there are different reasons. Some people will do it for the sound. For the sound, you have to know why you're doing it. Like when Allison did that rain thing today, I'm like, oh my God, it reminded me of being a kid in Jamaica when the rain would fall on the zinc roof. Because sometimes I'll even go in my car and sit in the driveway when it's raining because I reminisce of it. And one day I put that on Facebook and someone else said, "What's that about?" Her husband is Jamaican. She's like, "My husband does the same thing. What is this about sitting in the car listening to the rain?" And I said, when we grew up and we were in like the country area, or especially when we would go to spend summers with our grandparents, and it was when it started to rain, that was nap time. Everybody went and everything stopped, and then you would just hear the rain on the zinc roof. So it's a little nostalgic in a way. And it's also soothing and it's also very comforting. So you'd have to understand, why do you do what you do? When I'm juicing, there are people who just like, and Lucy always come, Lucy, where do you watch her? Lucy was like, I'm here. She's juicing again, but the sound of it, sometimes just peeling that apple, just the sound of it, right? And if you Google it, what all of that means, you'll see why and what it means to a lot of people. so many different ways. The sound has something to do with it. Some people like to look at them. Sometimes I could watch somebody cutting up a whole banana. They're designing the banana. The banana is looking like it's a dragon or something. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really have to think about anything. And then you'll see them doing this. So there are reasons why people do what they do. So that's why I'm saying people are thinking, you may not like it. It may not make sense to you, but there are people. If you put that in the ASMR, you put that in and you see what I know, and you're knowing that there are people who find some form of therapeutic. It's very therapeutic to them. So that's why I don't judge people. That's why I don't tell people. I know why I do what I do, and I know what I love. Many of you who do the music and different things, like who was I listening to? Mel Run Things. Yes, I love the rain on the roof, and those put me to sleep. I love it. Mel Run Things right now, like she's running her music, and it's very comforting. I think Nitya, lyrics by Nitya, did did two yesterday, and they were so good. They were like music that will make you productive. So there are different things what people do. And if you are doing the ones that I do when I'm talking and I'm saying the same thing over and over, you guys are like, okay, we saw that already. It's all good. Might have gotten 2 or 3 minutes out of you. It's all good. And then somebody else comes. It's not one person going to sit there, Other people are going to come in and they're going to watch and they're going to get the feel of it. They want more information. I bring very valuable content. I know that. I'm confident in that. And there are people who have gone, listened to my stuff and was like, hey, I like that. When I start now putting out my videos even more, I'm bringing value to the platform. So that's why when you do your live, you want to bring value. They will ask you when you fill out the stuff, they say they want to make sure you're not just doing stuff to get views. And it actually states that. And I'm like, did I just read that? Right. So that's why when you're doing your bit and you're talking, you are bringing something. Okay, Elson Deborah said there are some channels dedicated to ASMR. I thought about Restream. Yes. And for me, like, I worked in a very high, I always say it's just high octane. I worked emergency room. I worked critical care. I was always, you're always like you're waiting for that buzzer to go off, and you're just running on adrenaline, just on adrenaline. So when now I get the ASMR, listen, see my shoulders, I relax, my breathing relax. So it is therapeutic. So guys, you may not understand certain things. If it's not for you, I tell folks it's not for you. But believe you me, there are thousands of people. There are thousands of people in different parts of the world that it means something to them, maybe even millions, right? So there are things that you can do your research and figure out. Now, let's see if I can drink this tea. The whole tea bag broke. Mm. I'm telling you, the tea, where did the tea go? Really? Me, 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 me. So yeah, that's another thing about the stream. One of the things too, you want to be careful that you are not using the same clip. So I do different takes on my clips. Sometimes you'll see my juicing, you'll see carrots because that's orange. Sometimes you'll just see green. Sometimes you'll see something else. Yes, it can mistake because it's possibly AI and people who are going through your thing and they may think it's the same thing. But if you're doing those prayers, and if you don't think, sometimes we got to come outside of the box. There are people who play those prayers in their homes. So if you're saying a prayer and it's about 2 minutes, a minute 30, a minute 20, a minute 30, a minute 45, sometimes you can push it to 2 minutes, and that's on a loop. When you're listening to that prayer, each time you're going to hear something different. Why would you not want that to be a blessing to someone? Think of it. Sometimes we're thinking of ourselves, but what about the person who feels really blessed from it? Maybe somebody in the hospital who wants to hear that, and it's comforting to them. The music is rather comforting. The and the prayers. My sister played prayers in her home. I fell asleep to it. I woke up to it. In the day it's on, she just leaves it on, and it brings a beautiful, peaceful feel to the atmosphere. When we do things, understand it's not just for us. I say, think of that person who might be in the hospital. Think of that person who might be recuperated. Think of that person who may be feeling anxious and just need to hear that prayer, and it's right then and there. It's not for you, right? It's for those who are feeling blessed by it. Hey, Barry is in the house. They play them, yep, and I listen to them, and each time I hear something new. When I discuss grief and being mindful of others, someone said that content should be fun and happy. However, hold on, let me come back up to that. What is going on here? Yeah, try not to touch too many things on this. It's a little bit sensitive. Is Barry walking exercise up in here? All right. Els Endeavor said, when I discuss grief and being mindful of others, someone said that content should be fun and happy. However, I received messages from people thanking me for that. Yes. And let me tell you, there are grief coaches out there. One of my sisters, she's a grief coach, and she is also completing her her master's in counseling, and now she can see clients. Guys, there is a need for it. Grief counseling, that is a powerful thing, Els, and I don't know if that's one of your niche, but it is so needed. Sometimes too, during grief, when my sister was telling me, they will tell you certain things you should not say to people who are grieving. And sometimes we don't know, right? We don't know the protocols. We don't know what we should or not say. And so it comes in, it really comes in handy. So that's huge. That's big. So Barry walking exercise is in the house. Yeah. So everything is not for everybody. Yes, the sound of the person's voice is so comforting. And for me, it's just like I'll go to sleep. I do listen to Wisdom Sparks at night. I'll put it on, and you know, we got it in our house. My people know who some of you all are. They know, okay? I was like, hey, we're listening to this. There are two television. There's a big one down there. Oh, you're gonna be. And so we do that. So Barry, walking exercise for your health is in the house. And Marvella said, thank you. Yes, it's about our health. Yes, good to hear you. Where's Tony? Is Tony here? Because there's a delay on this. Caribbean girl Tony. Hey, Tony is in the building, y'all. Tony, did you hit it? Yeah, Tony's the finish line, guys. Come on. Let's go. Hey. Yeah. We're supporting. Today I was watching Anisha LTV. This poor thing is like falling apart. The thing is coming off. But Anisha L, Anisha, we are I love her playlist. And so I'm like there, the foodie I am. I could just glance up the playlist. Get it, guys? So yeah. Yeah, so Caribbean girl Tony is getting. Yes. Yeah, somebody had on a rain one night, and that was it. Next thing I knew, it was 4 a.m. in the morning. So we're all getting closer. So that's the thing, guys. Before you know it, you're there. One of the things that I did find out with the other one, the StreamYard, what I found out with that one was that I was using it, and then I'm like, what's going on? And only to find out a certain amount of hours were given. So a certain amount of hours were given for the month. And I was like, where are all this stuff that I was doing? And that's when I found it. And then I spoke to someone, and he said, you know what? That's why he stopped using it. And so yes, I feel that when you just go through YouTube, it's all good. For me, the buffering, why here Also, sometimes in my home, I get that I'm not getting, so I just feel that it's best if you just do it via YouTube. Um, yes, let's see. Yes, Allison, ma'am, that's one of the things. Anisha reviews some interesting food. She sure does, and I can watch her eat that stuff. Like I'm like, yeah, because I'm not much of a sweet person, but there are a few things I'm like, I could just take a bite of that. I could take a bite of that. This is lemon and a lemon zinger or something. It's a sleepy time. So pretty soon I'm gonna be out. But yeah, and for me, I like some of the things that she does, like she just did the Dunkin' Donuts. And I had to go. I said, okay, let me see what she got over there. Because it's one of my, you say guilty treats. And so there was some kind of cake. And I'm like, I probably could only have one bite of that. Because if something is too sweet, I'm a kind of an old fashioned donut girl. If I'm going to have a donut, I am more likely an old fashioned donut, or I used to like the cinnamon ring. Oh my goodness. The old fashioned donut, a cinnamon ring. If I'm going to have coffee, it's an old fashioned donut, a small coffee, cream, just a little bit of cream, and no sugar because the donut is going to do it. And then I've gotten my fix. I haven't done that in months, but that was the thing that I needed to do. But yeah, she did that and something else. But I remember I saw the Dunkin' Donuts and I went over there and I did check it out. So yeah, guys, when you're doing the restream, think about what is this you're going to do. Make sure you're not repeating the material. Now, there's something I heard tonight. The video is different, but the audio is the same. So I'm not sure if that's an issue. Um, Someone was doing it. I was like, I heard this before, and I was like, oh, she's just using the same audio, but the visuals were different over her stream. Why? I don't know. I just grab what I need to do, and I just let it roll, and people like it. Like Tony had one. She was down by the marina, and that was beautiful. And it was just nice. I've been to Grenada before, and I'm like, where in Grenada is this? I'm trying to remember where this was, but she was down by the marina, and you could hear the sounds in the background. You could see the boats, you could see the ocean, and it just gave you a nice feel. And so sometimes too, you have to understand, I'm from the Caribbean, but I'm here in the States. Sometimes you want to hear the feel, the sound, sometimes the look of it. So, I mean, sometimes too, I'm sure, Tony, there's some hit and miss. There's some things people like, they may watch more, or there's some things that they may not. Caribbean girl Tony said, I don't like sweet stuff. Yeah, I don't like a lot of it, but I do love my coconut drops, the coconut thing that we make. I like it. If it's too sweet, that's why I drink tea with very little of anything in it. So, Marvella, are you coming back with any loops? That's a question for you, Marvella. Would you come back with any of them? Anisha make me want to backslide and have some sweet and with some sweets. Yeah. Listen, for me, just one or two bites might be it. You know, the cakes, them, yeah, one or two. But there's certain little things like, oh, that's interesting. That looks good. But for me, I'd rather okay, my saltfish, my green bananas, and all them stuff like that. Caribbean girl, how do you do that? What does it say here? Caribbean girl, how you do that? Oh, that she doesn't like sweet stuff. Yeah, I like some of it, but not the whole thing. Also, when you're restreaming, yeah. Oh, that was my question to it's Marvella. Marvella, you better bring back them prayers, girl, because some people can just pray. Somebody told me they're like Sharon. Oh wow, you can really pray, and I'm like, there's some folks who just can really pray. But sometimes too, with the prayers, I'll see God just take me to a certain direction, and I just have to be obedient. I might think about it. Sweet is my weakness? Ah, yeah. I was thinking of using an older video and restream it, but I may create a new one. You can. You have a few. I want to know why Marvella, um, because trying to understand. I'd have to go through your stuff. So those prayer loops that you had, you pull those, and how many hours were they? Because you guys have to understand, they may be showing you just 2 hours here or something, but if you look at the life of it, they're on my channel just now. Oh no, but there were some prayers. There was a prayer you did one day, and there was a book and two coffee mugs, and the back end was white, and the page was flipping. Did you pull that one? I was thinking of using older people. You can use, how long is the video? Because restream now, you can't have it too long. You could only have the maximum of 3 clips in there. Because some of you can, there's also playlists you can do. How long is the video? You don't know how many hours. Oh, wow. Yeah, if you looked at them, then you would have seen what the hours were that you garnered. The hours that you garnered, and I'm still not sure why that was done, but oh wow, wow, I'm still trying to, yeah, wow, it's Marvella. People come back to those and listen. There might have been somebody who was so blessed and would want to come back and play it in their home. Um, I know sometimes people don't always want to hear me talk on the lives, and it's okay. But it's also too, you have to decide, what do you want your channel to be known for? What do you want your channel to be known for? Delete. Oh, she said delete it. Oh Lord, let me drink the tea bag and everything she deleted. Why, Marvella? Especially that one. I loved that one. That one, I drove 2 hours listening to that in rain, right? Marvella, I'm not telling you anything more, Marvella. Because Marvella, I was driving in 2 hours worth of rain, couldn't even see the visibility. And it was Marvella's voice and her prayers that kept me. Wow. Well, Allison, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me talk about Allison too. And then when I was coming back, Allison kept saying, "Oh," Allison was like, "That's right, spread love." And I was like, I sent Allison a text and she didn't say anything. I said, "Let me keep driving. I'm driving." "Oh, he's so funny, spread love." Allison, I was like, "Oh, no, she did not ignore me." So when it was time to get to where I was going, I glanced down. Allison, I never hit the send button. I was listening to for like 20 minutes. I said, I'm going to see how long, right? And I'm driving, and Allison, I owe you an apology. Marbella, when you delete videos, you lose your hours. Yeah, they're gone. I listened to it at work. Yeah, I thought they would ruin my channel. No, they wouldn't. I could have misunderstood what Lashana said the other day. Never delete them. There are channels. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you guys have a genre, and even if you had put them on whatever, you could have left that alone. Yeah. But no, Allison, you did acknowledge me. I just didn't hit the button, but I drove going one way. And listen, yes, my brother, just unless do not delete. Yes. So what happened with that is this: there are channels that do exactly that, and they get hundreds and thousands, they get thousands of views. All right, they're actual channels. Dappy Keys just play if you guys listen to Dappy Keys, he just plays that music. Leave it in your house. My God. I'd have to ask my sister which one, what is the channel if she's not sleeping. Because at her house, when she was going through, y'all, let me tell her something. Let me tell her something now. Me, my Jamaican coming out now, Els. Yes, their channel. Come on, their channels. Please, guys. Yes. So it might. Yes, it's a mistake. But I wish you. I don't know if you have. Do you have any of those videos anywhere? Because once they're deleted, they're no longer there. Because they're things that I was running and I had to just delete the whole thing, and then I would play the video again. But consider doing it. There are people who do it. Remember this. And this is what, see, yeah. Like Els will say, she listened to it while she's at work. People saturate the atmosphere with prayer. You may walk into some places and me and demons no play. Me no play with demons. No. So sometimes you will need a Cindy Trim. You would need something and you turn that sucker up and I am not playing. Sometimes there are people in the hospital who need that. They need that comfort. And that's why those channels, they serve a purpose. So you see, Allison likes Dappy Keys. Yes. I mean, you just want that peace in your home. You do that. Just know it's Marvella, that there was one point on that particular video, there was 90 something people, and I screenshot it because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was 90 something people on the end towards that video. I don't know where they came from. And sometimes too, you guys have to understand, we're working in different time zones. If Indonesia, now there's a 12, it's a morning time for them. So you'd have to figure out during the day when they're listening and when they're winding down. So I sometimes think in a different time zone. Oh, wow. The Lion of Judah channel stayed on in my home during COVID. We better believe it. Yeah, come on, Els. Yes, yes. I like Cindy Trim too. Yeah, when you want to get rid of those. And John Eckert, I have a lot of John Eckert. I have his books. I have those books. And if you want to get sometimes with the Audible and things like that, it's really comforting to people. So yes, I don't reuse, do not reuse, try not to reuse anything. And if there's sometimes too people who take other people's videos, and that was one of the things I was worried about, because a lot of my stuff is, if you see the stuff in Bali or you see it somewhere, that's my original. I was actually there. There are people who are taking people's stuff. And so sometimes that can be flagged. But if you have your stuff, it's yours. So you don't want to do any reusal. A lot of people who were going, at one time they were teaching people, go over there, get this, take off the music, do this, put your stuff on. No, you can take your camera and you got a few seconds to do some stuff. You don't have to take other people's things, right? Those folks who are doing that, and hopefully they don't take our stuff, but understanding who are the people. That's what I'm saying, be clear on who are the people that would listen to a channel that does prayer all night. It's for people who truly want peace, especially when you want peace in your home. No, ain't no other music or nothing else playing up in here. I want the peace, and you're going to set the atmosphere. So that's one of the things that you do with it. So yes, try not to reuse anything. If you're doing something, get a couple different shots, be mindful of it. So I know the people who listen to certain things, and even after you're done, there are people who still come back to watch it. Now, some of us will look at our videos, we'll say, oh, our videos are low. But I noticed Chris started to notice that, hey, Lashana, always ask before you do anything if anyone isn't sure about something. We are all here to help. Absolutely. Yeah, because there were things that, Marvella, don't feel bad, because there were things that I didn't understand too. Like the time when I was walking through the town, and I was kind of concerned because I was out there. Hey, lyrics by Nitya. Yes, I was kind of concerned that people might because I'm very kind of private too, because I do travel a lot, and sometimes I really don't say. And that came from years being in, it took me a long time to really think about media, video. And that's years from being in radio. It's because sometimes people will think that they know you and they'll run up on you. And, you know, they will just act like they know you. They only would hear my voice, but there were things that I had to do to protect myself and my family. So it's, to me, it's really, it's like serious stuff. So I don't try to everywhere I am. And it was really good video. A lot of people came on it, and while we were coming down, and then I stopped at a cafe and music was playing, and then somebody passed and said a curse word, but it was like in the last maybe 2 minutes of the video, so I could have cut it out. And then I said, you know what, I just decided to leave it. I just made it, I think, private, or I think I made it unlisted. And so the watch hours I might have gotten, I lost those, but I decided not to make it public, and so I left it. So there's some reasons to why some things you may want not show. Say, hey, Lashana, thank you for coming in. I don't want to do anything that mess up my monetization, so I removed them last night. Oh, if you mess up, they will tell you. Trust me. They will tell you, and they're people, because I see people on YouTube are saying, "Oh, my monetization and this happened and that happened," and what they told them to do. I mean, for me, it was sitting there since April 6th, and I just wasn't in the headspace to deal with any of that stuff. I had other things going on. Sometimes I tell you guys I have a project that I'm doing, and my mind space, I'm writing things, I'm doing stuff, I'm having meetings, and sometimes too, it's just like I turn on the camera, then I forget about it, and I go about my business. But being 2 hours early for a flight, because I didn't know what was going to happen, I'm just like, hey, and I started to fill the stuff out. And then they asked me some other questions. I was like, oh, man, they're asking me too much questions. But it wasn't a lot. It was just me needed to sit down for like a good 15, 20 minutes and just finish it. Maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes. But yeah, yes. Until there are people. I think Mary Jane was on, and she said they wouldn't tell her what. Those of you who were on the live earlier, I think it's Marvella and Allison. Mary Jane said they turned her down, and they wouldn't tell her exactly what it was. I think they told her to go check her video. KC Inspirational Tales. Hey, 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 hey. Welcome on in. And they told her to go check her videos, but she's concerned that it might have been an intro that she did. She's not sure. And also, she was somewhere one day, and I tell her, use that as a B-roll. Don't let that music come through, because either they will tell you, sometimes they will give you a little yellow triangle, because on one of my channels that happened. Some music was caught in something. Some music I played on the video, and they were just like, and I was like, now we're not playing with it. We're not playing with it. Thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Barry. So yes, the music. So my shorts, I took them off, like Lashana said. I really did. That really did work. A lot of people, though, would find me through my shorts, because when you're live, you go on your shorts page, it shows you that you're live. So a lot of people used to find me through them. But no, the thing that I would like to get more numbers on, yes, definitely would be the lives and the videos. And so once I start making my videos again, I will definitely do more work on getting those seen, because I may not be live all the time, right? So I'd have to do the work to get the videos viewed. And sometimes all it takes to, I'm telling you, there are people, that one video, sometimes you'll go on there, they may have 100, they may have this, they may have that, then you'll see 10,000, and then you'll see 25,000, and just out of nowhere, those numbers. there are people that I know who are getting the views, but it's tiring. They'll get the views. Oh, they're talking about being broke. They talk about the money. They talk about, because they're trying to get the algorithm to pick it up, pick it up. But sometimes too, there's some folks that I follow, and the wilder, like I said, is really wild. Their titles are, it's just like, it's not clickbait. But there's some people who do clickbait, but there's some that I just know their style. Like one, oh my God, this nurse, male nurse. And one night he said, broke people should not have. And I was like, okay, I'm going to click on it. I'm just going to click on it. He said, bro. And but what he kept talking about, he just had a series of what he was speaking about. And his numbers were going through the roof, because sometimes too, the algorithm, it loves that. Oh my gosh, main girl, I thought about you today, girl. I was going to come looking for you. Main girl _207. Hey, hey, hey. I was going to come looking for you. So sometimes too, like and subscribe. Thank you, Nightbot. So sometimes too, some people can get really outrageous with their titles and this. Sometimes you just got to do what you're going to do, because the thing, it also reads the face. It want to see what it looks like. It needs to correlate. So sometimes you got to bring a little bit of excitement to your lives, because you want to keep people into, you want to give them the information, right? Give them the information, but also I manifested you. Listen, last night, main girl, I was talking about something that I manifest. Listen, real, here goes a sidebar. Ellen smiled. Hey, 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 Ellen. Oh my gosh, great to hear you. Listen, I'm listening to your reel that you have on. The picture is different, but that's an audio you used before, correct? And that's another thing. I don't know if there's an issue with it, because I know that audio. I listened to your stuff enough to know it was a repeat audio. Oh gosh, it's going, it's going, it's going. Let me tell you, I just had one of my clients just received some kind of a nursing award all over there in Texas. I was so proud of her. And listen to this. Nurses, when we are going to work and we see an accident, this girl jumped out of her car and helped to pull somebody to safety. It sounded like a movie. I had to call her, and they wrote about it. And then there was another ICU nurse on the way to work, whatever, to cut somebody out of a car that blew up. I was like, girl, that sounds like some 007 Hawaii 50, same kind of thing. Yes, same audio. Now, that's the thing that we were talking about. We were talking about reusing content. I am not sure. I know the video is different, but there's some stuff they may have about reusing content, but I'm not sure about audio. And I said, you know what? That's an interesting one. You know, so that's one of the things, Ellen, I was not sure about. Yeah, they have a big thing about reusing content, and they do tell you. So when I'm reading through the stuff, they're saying we want to make sure we're not just doing it for views, and they want to make sure that we're not reusing the content, especially people who go and use other people's content. So that to me was quite interesting. Yes, definitely when you're out in public with Mary Jane Case, the the music was on, and after you may think that they can't, that this system or app or whatever they use here, you may think it can't hear it. It picks up the music. So just like at the station when we would play music, BMI, ASCAP, and or SOCAN or wherever they're from, they need to get paid. Okay, when you go in the gym or you're going to different places, those certain places, you can't just play people's music. They want to get paid, and they will know that you're playing their music. So that's why too, if there's no agreement, right, if there's no agreement with it, that's when we kind of get into trouble. I'm concerned about those who are having these intros that, I think Allison said somebody made an intro for her, and the person said it's yours. Well, there was a big YouTuber who came on And then the person was like, nah, you didn't pay me. I still own it. They're folks. And listen, one thing I'm going to tell you, when LaShawna tell us about that turtle power, she is not playing. And it's so true. I got to give her credit for that. Keep it simple and do what we do, because when we start getting fancy with all that other stuff, there are just some people who are waiting until you're big. I mentioned that. I mentioned it earlier. Guys, I told you the years in the industry, with the music industry, there are people, and I mentioned it, right, Elza? Who was on the call today? Yes, different places. They're just waiting in the cut. They're just waiting for you to get big. Then they'll come like, nah, I didn't get paid. And remember, too, your videos are just not played in the US. There are other places. If your brother-in-law made it, well, work out something with him. Because I'm going to tell you, baby, you hit it big. Everybody needs to get paid. And that's why I'm so I'm really big on that. There's a brewery company last week, now at 8:30 hours, slow and steady. I'm getting monetized by spring of 2026. Yes, find out about that audio. Can you reuse that audio, Ellen, without having any issues? Because they have a big thing on reused material. The audio, I'm not sure about. I know it's yours. I know the anything else. So that's something too. I'm not sure. I'm not clear on. So as I was saying, Allison, so it's a company, it's a brewery company. Listen to this, guys. And so I think a friend of theirs created a logo. And I'm not sure if the logo was 2,000, 5,000. I just know it wasn't a whole lot of money. But because no agreement was made, even if it's family, and that's why I love when contracts are in place, reason being, you used it once. You used it once, but is it the same audio, Ellen? Because it sounds like it, or if you rewrote it. If it says yes, just be careful. You need clarity on any content, and you don't want to do that because they pick up everything. Okay, so that's a brand new audio. You never used that audio before. Seems like I heard that before. At first, they just give you the song and then want payment if the creator begins to do well or state that. It does happen. And stuff like that happens. And so that's why, and I learned this from someone that I worked with, and she works with a lot of high, like seven figures and so forth. And so one of the conversations, when you're around people who are doing things in a way, take them out to lunch and pay for lunch. You pay for lunch. You don't worry about anything, because they will tell you, I don't care how many figures they have in commas, I'll treat you to lunch, darling. Don't worry, I'll take care of that. And then they'll talk to you. But anyway, one of the things she did say was this: because I don't want to have any issues. No, it goes over and over. Okay, brand new every day. No, no, no. What I'm saying, Ellen, that audio that you have you used that same audio before? Before, on another day, last week? Yeah. So that's why I'm just saying clarity on that. Um, All right. So a contract is a must. Just like some people say, "Oh, I don't believe in prenups. I don't believe in that." Some of you do know there's a what is it called, a postnup, right? There is a postnup. Hello, there's a postnup. But the thing is this: so that there's no misunderstanding, I want clarity with it. So this company made the logo, and the company blew up to almost, oh, I guess I can't say that. The company just went boom. And the person was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. The sound is it new daily. I'm just saying, I can make an audio, I can create an audio. And every day I put a different picture over it, a different picture, but it's still the same audio. Is that considered reuse? That's why I'm not sure. No, I make a new video every day. Not the video, and delete the old one because of storage and restream. The videos are easy for me, so I can, not the video, the audio, Ellen, the audio. Because the audio, I think it's the same audio that you're using. Um, if it's the same audio, you may want to just find out, is that considered reuse? Not the video, because you put the audio on it. Okay, remind me what I was saying. No, Allison, I was onto something good. Oh, with the company. Yeah, darlings. So what happened is this. Oh, wait a minute. It's an hour. I didn't even get to tell you all the story. The hour is over. But the person came back and said, hey, wait a minute. I made that. How much is the company worth now? How much is the company, whether it was 200 mil or whatever it was worth? Then they wanted a couple million. I think it was more than 10 million for the logo. Whether it was 20 million, it is a brewery company. Oh, okay. So maybe you own that audio then. Okay, when I do it. All right. I'm not sure, Ellen, but when I do waves, I do it in, not the waves, just the audio, your speaking voice, the speaking voice. So yeah, they came back and they were like, wait a minute, how much is that company? We want 20 million for that logo. I'm gonna have to find that story. Yes. So what happened? They came back for that logo, baby. Yeah, more than 10, I think maybe 20 mil. It is a brewery company. It is a company. Maybe y'all can Google and find it. It is a company, and they came back for that sucker. So that's why when you're doing anything and you get these people on Fiverr and you get them on these places doing these logos and they stuff for you, them own it. If you don't get that thing to sign off from them, and then you also make sure you get an attorney that you own that bad boy, you own nothing. So even for family, I would want to make an agreement because, baby, when Allison Map blow up, and then sometimes too, people are worried about, oh, they're not going to do it. Their estate will. Let me tell you, money will make people act funny, and I have no problem people getting a piece of it. I have clients who have created amazing things, and I tell them, stop sending your stuff to people. I've had people who have created some amazing stuff, and I said, I am not looking at it. For a logo, you better believe it. How much do you think? Who did the logo, the logo for the Nike? Okay, find out about it. Do a research about the Nike logo and see how much they bought that for. See how much they bought that sucker for. Right? There's another thing about this guy. We all watching him now in court. His logo, the person who did it. There's just so many super talented people out there. You got to protect yourself. And I tell my clients, stop sending me stuff. I'm not looking at it. And I don't look at it. And we get on Zoom and they finish and they own their property. Because many of you keep sending your stuff to folks. And the next thing, they own your stuff. Right? So I don't have, so that's why I'm saying get an attorney, read the books, do what you all have to do and find out what that is and make sure that it's clear. So when it comes to even anything with family too, because they said, let peace reign. I want peace to reign. And so I'm just like, all right, and we see how that happens too. So you just want to make sure you own whatever you own outright. Yes, it's true. Go look up the Nike Swish and see how much they paid for that. Hey, Lyrics, yeah, how much they paid for that. And so that's why when I'm telling you guys, I'm not trying to convince anybody, been in the rooms, sit there, seen people just like, hey, you don't own it. People have written songs, like I tell you, they don't own it. The person just bought them songs for $2,000 and they signed away their rights for a lot of that. And I told, oh yeah, let me finish the story about the creative earlier who was, these people wanted his masters, and a lot of his songs and stuff are in the UK and different parts of the world, Africa, UK, and is it Japan? One of these countries that love a lot of our music, like soul music. Is it Japan that like a lot of jazz and that kind of feel music? And they wanted his masters. And he said he could always write he the thing was for him to write an album and they would own the masters and they would build a studio for him, which I thought I had to tell him. My heart dropped and I told him exactly how I felt. It wasn't fair to his family, his children, and to really think about it. And he ended up not doing it. He ended up not doing it. And now his son is a TikTok and Instagram sensational. I won't say the name, but he's out there on tour, pretty darn amazing. I can't talk a lot of, see, sometimes, I know a lot of people and a lot of things, right? But I'm just saying these things are true. So I don't profess to know any and all of this stuff, but I'm just saying, find out about it, because if the Field of Diamond story I told some time ago, a lot of us are sitting on those, and they're just people who aren't given those gifts, and they'll just want it, and they themselves and their legacy to eat, and to survive and to thrive. And then why should you be a struggling artist, as they say? Because many of the artists that I know, I'm telling you, they're just creatives. They create. Some of them don't even get caught up about the money. But one of the things too, it's that we have a responsibility to understand money. We have a responsibility to understand and what it can do. It's not the paper itself, right? It's what you can do. If you feel that many of your gifting and your skills can be a blessing when you're blessed with it, and you can bless others. And sometimes it's not just the money, it could be who you know, and being connected to people also who want to do good things in the world. Then it will make you think a little bit different and let people respect your gifting and your skills. So be careful what you share. Yes, I don't share any medical stuff, because remember, I was in the medical and the music world. So the medical stuff, I don't talk about any of that stuff. But when it comes to the music world, I'm telling you, it's really real, guys. There's some folk out there. It's just like, stay home with your kids and everything. Just that world ain't for everybody. And yeah, I only covered some of the events, but it's too much fake people. Anyway, beautiful people, we're going to say good night. We're a little bit over. I'm going to check out Wisdom Sparks. Do me a favor, guys. Just we're going to fly over there. It's Marvella. If you're still here, Caribbean, Tony, let's just stop by Wisdom Sparks and say hello, and just say raid or whatever. We're here from RN to CEO, whichever way, and just show her some love. All right. Because I think we've done that before for Tony also. All right. Good night, people. May the Lord bless and keep each and every one of you. Yay. Let's go. All right, everybody. Take care now. Bye bye.